Hey, I'm Brian, and this is the YouTube channel Passion for Peppers. Thought try something new this year. Thought it might be fun to kind of document the season, pepper growing season. Maybe for some others out there that are wanting to start doing this, maybe those that have been doing it for a long time to just want to learn some new things or see some different ways of doing things. I've been growing peppers for about a decade now, probably at least the last 10 years or so. Um, Learning more each year, trying different things, refining the process, just little tricks to make things easier for myself and work a little better and faster. Again, thought it might be fun to start a channel so others could kind of, see what's going on and follow along. Here we are, it's February 15th of 2026, and so we're just getting started for the season. Live in the Midwest here, so though the snow's melted, it's still definitely winter, but that's the thing about growing peppers is they're slow growing, and if you can jump out in front, have them ready to transplant by the time it hits May here, then they kind of get a quicker boost into growing and hopefully harvesting sooner. All right, so today we wanted to talk about, my setup, doing this very natural. This is our basement, just a corner in the basement. Maybe you've got a big fancy area to set this up, or maybe you have tight on space like us. This just works for us. It's a corner in the basement. There's a treadmill here, a little kitchen area here, kids play down here, but it's a little place of my own that I can get these things started. It's out of the way and it works. And that's really all you need. Utilizing a greenhouse. So this we've had for a long time. My sister bought this years ago. Couldn't tell you quite for sure where. I would guess Amazon. But lots of different people out there make things like this. It doesn't need to be complex or anything like that. You just need a place that's going to have some shelves for where you're going to place the peppers. Ideally, it's some sort of plastic or sealed thing to where you can hold the heat and moisture in. High humidity is key. And just organize, again, having the clear is great, so you don't have to open it up to see what's going on. But anyway, a closer look, flip this out of the way here. On the shelves here, I'm utilizing heat mats. So there's heat mats on each shelf here. And so what that does is we're gonna try to aim to heat this greenhouse up to 80 degrees and keep it that way. That's gonna help with the seeds and germinating. My basement, maybe like yours, isn't always the warmest, so it's probably about 66 degrees down here. And with that cooler soil temperature, it takes a little longer time for those peppers to germinate. If you can heat that up and keep it moist, that will increase your time to germination, as well as the plants will really take off. So, got the heat mats here. And then, again, that's there. I have not installed lights yet, so we'll probably do that on another episode. We'll install some lights. I can talk about those and what I like and what works well for me. But you don't need the lights at first to germinate them. Really, the seed's going to be in the dirt, and it needs heat and moisture and some time. So that's really what we'll start out with. We'll get that taken care of. I did last year, maybe the year before, improve my setup a little bit. I'm now running a temperature sensor in here that helps actually control the temperature in here. So if you just run the heat mats, it's going to be whatever the temperature these are that put off. Well, what I've found is up top gets too hot, and I actually have problems with germination and success of those. And down low is too cool. So what I've done is this is controlled by a little controller, and again, all natural. This is kind of a mess, but we have a power strip down here, and plugged into it is a controller. This controller can control heat and cooling. Now, we're only using heating, so we don't need to worry about that. So it's got the temperature sensor on one side, and then on the other side, down here, it's got two plugs, one for cooling and one for heating. So what I'll do is I'll plug in another power strip into the heating side, and then it's gonna, every time, currently the temperature is 71.2, so it's gonna turn on. Right now this plug's hot, it's electrified, so it would turn on these heat mats and heat them up to 80 degrees. And once it hits 80 degrees, it's going to shut off, and it's going to control the temperature there. So that's been really effective. Had a lot better success germinating once I did that. Another thing while I'm down here, is I'm just utilizing a simple timer here, dial that you can use to program 24-hour timer, so I can program my lights. So again, I've got a power strip here. I will plug my lights in here, and then my lights will run off of that. I think I've got them running probably 18 hours out of the day or so like that. But again, we're not ready for lights. We'll get to that another day. Gearing up, I'm still working on my list of what I'm going to grow this year. I do have a lot of varieties. I've grown 60 plus varieties of peppers. In a single season, I think one year we grew over 55 that year. It's a lot to keep up with, but pretty cool. There's a lot of different varieties out there. But one of the next steps is finishing up that list of peppers that I'm going to grow for the year. And then we're going to plant them. I harvest my own seeds. I keep them from year to year. So I find the peppers, varieties that I like, and then I find ideal peppers, and then I harvest those. Later this season, we can definitely do that. So what we have here, these are Jiffy pods, or I'm not sure what the Jiffy plugs, and this is a little greenhouse starting kit. So these, once we add water to them, they swell up big time. Right now these are dehydrated, and we'll put the seed in here, and that's where we're going to start it out. So each one of these has 12. Again, it's a little greenhouse. We'll put them like this, and then we'll stick them in here. I'll actually put them on some trays, but we'll show you that process when we get there. And then, you know, with that, that'll hold the moisture in, the heat in, and that will help germinate these things. Again, the nice clear plastic so you can kind of see what's going on. Something that we do, so I'll show you the Excel sheet that I use, just basic Excel sheet, but to organize myself, because when you're planting all these and they sprout, you don't really know what they are. You're not going to know until the fruit comes on what they are. The more you do this, you get a little better. You can kind of identify from the leaves and what the plant looks like, what it is. But a lot of them are hard to tell apart until you do have that fruit. So what I do is I label each tray with a letter. So this is the B tray. And then each spot in the tray is labeled with a number. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then on the other side again, 7 through 12. And in my Excel sheet, I keep track of the date I planted them, and then what seeds are in what place, and that way I know what I've got growing. And again, another episode coming, we'll transplant these from this into some cups, let them continue growing before we transplant them in the ground later this spring. But again, just another idea for staying organized, and it really helps speed up the process, I've found as well, when you stay organized and know what you got going. So I'll be happy to share what I have there. This is kind of what it looks like when you buy it. I've ordered these on Amazon. I've also found them in a number of local stores that have plants and stuff like that. But anyway, nothing beats the convenience of it showing up at your doorstep a couple days later after you've placed that order. So, and you can reuse these year after year. I purchase just bags with just the plugs in them, and so you can literally plop those in and reuse those greenhouses year after year. Well, I want to thank you all for taking a little time to check out my first episode here. Just again, going back over what we wanted to talk about today was, again, very simple setup. You honestly don't even have to have the greenhouse. You could start with just one of these and get going, but I would recommend working your way to this setup. It took me years to get all the stuff bought and put together, but you could jump out there and do it right away, or you could just start basic. But either way, I would encourage you to give it a go if that's something that interests you. So appreciate you guys taking the time. Those of you that want to follow, we would appreciate that. Hit the subscribe. You guys can see what we have going this year, learn a few things, comment on the videos. We'll do our best to get back to people, and want to hear what you guys are looking for, what information we can help you with. So it's February 15th here in the Midwest here, and we're looking to get plants in the ground early May. So we're probably about 6 to 8 weeks from putting the plants in the ground. So that's when we would recommend. Again, depending on where you are geographically, you can look online for the best planting times. But 6 to 8 weeks is what I find works out pretty good to go from seed to something that you can transplant. So appreciate you guys following along. Please join us for the next one. Subscribe.